Hello everyone, my name is SOUBHIK NAG. I am from West Bengal. I have completed my BSc AG degree from Bidhan Chandra Krishi Vishwavidyalaya, West Bengal, Bardhaman campus. I am here to share with you my most important books and study tips for ICAR JRF examination, which I followed in this year examination. So first of all, you all see my qualifications or achievements, as wish as you say. So I got All India rank 4 in this year ICR AIAA PG examination and cleared CUT PG with a marks of 297 and achieved the seat of GBP department in BHU main campus. So later on, let's talk about the main part. Uh, I divided the whole plant science syllabus, or as you say, subjects into major parts. In two parts, a major subject group and a minor subject group. In major subject group, here comes the genetics, plant breeding, plant pathology, seed science, and technology. Minor subject part, here comes in agricultural microbiology, biochemistry, plant physiology, economic botany, and general agriculture and current affairs. Let's move on. Here are some important chapters which you should follow in genetics for ICR PG examination. Let's talk about the most important chapters in which you should give some more time and understand the concept deeply. So chapter coming on the chapter chromosome and its structural numerical aberration, physical basis of heredity. There are four chapters. I just include the four chapters in one line. You should understand the knowledge you should gather the knowledge or understand the concepts of about chromosome and its structural numerical aberrations are most important, and physical basis like only history part. Then in ICR's PG examination, which of 2019 to 2020, the probability and chi-square questions are asked in those years. So no one knows if ever they asked again those questions. So prepare them very deeply and understand the concepts of probability as much as you can and solve numerical questions about it. Let's talk about the most important chapter is laws of Mendel, both laws of Mendel and deep knowledge about Mendel's and his works. In this segment, deep knowledge about Mendel and his work. Some questions are have asked in this year plant science examination. So you should prepare study notes, handwritten notes. No book will provide all the concepts precisely or all the information precisely. So you should keep a note about the Mendel's works and his thorough knowledge. Later on, moving to the important chapter, quantity, characters, and environmental effects. This chapter is quite important because quantity characters also comes under the breeding subject group. So you should prepare quantity characters and have a deep knowledge about it. Then moving to the linkage and recombination in fungi, bacteria, and molecular mechanism of linkage. So this chapter is as important as the Mendel's chapter because numericals, one-liners, conceptual questions, assertion reasoning, statement-based questions, those can be asked from these chapters only. Then sex determination and sex linkage. Sex determination chapter is some sort of non-important, but sex linkage chapter is pretty much important in respect of ICR PG examination. And you should read both the chapters well and prepare hand notes. Multiple alleles, next chapter, multiple alleles. This chapter is quite important, but till now, not so much hard questions have asked from these chapters. But no one knows whenever they ask them. So you should prepare multiple alleles chapter and mutation chapter is quite important. The history part from the mutation chapter, the mutagens, physical mutagens, chemical mutagens part, and the test. You should prepare them well. Then cytoplasmic inheritance, the history part, and the basic concepts basic concepts like plasmids, mitochondrial gene inheritance, and how the maternal effect is correlated with the cytoplasmic inheritance. You should know a deep knowledge about them. Then population genetics, Hardy-Weinberg law is pretty much important in this years also. A numerical question is asked from this part, Hardy-Weinberg law part. So you should prepare this chapter well. Then chemical nature and structure of DNA, RNA, and then we started the molecular part. I think chemical nature and structure of DNA, RNA, it is important. You should recall from your 12th standard syllabus, or you should know some more knowledge, gain some more knowledge about this part. Then replication, transcription, translation, genetic code, regulation of prokaryotic gene action also comes. Transposomes, you should know about the basic things about transposomes, retroviruses, plasmids. Then recombinant DNA technology. In this segment, recombinant DNA technology, you should know the three types of restriction enzymes, three categories: type 1, type 2, type 3, and mostly we use type 2 restriction enzymes. Then primers, you should know, and you should know HDNs as well as site-directed nuclease. One question, CRISPR-Cas9 from CRISPR-Cas9, which have been asked in this year's examination. Then molecular biology techniques, hybridization. Hybridization means southern, northern, western hybridization, PCR, RT-PCR. You should know the concepts and basic knowledge about them. And small amount of RNA processing, small amount, just like don't deep go through in the genetics book of medicine. For this RNA processing, you should refer some YouTube lectures like Somu's biology. You should know the methods of RNA processing, only upper surface of the top of the surface of the concepts, and that is enough for the ICAR PG examination. Moving to the important books of genetics, I prefer the genetics book by BD Singh, not the fundamentals one. But if you thought that the molecular part of the genetics book is quite heavy and quite large to cover, then you should follow the fundamentals of genetics book by BD Singh. Here the molecular part is little bit less. Then after that, you revise the whole syllabus from genetics made easy, especially the molecular part. They written the molecular part very easy way, and you should memorize the line by line questions from the genetics made easy book. Then after that, you should revise one chapter after completing both genetics book and genetics made easy. You should revise one chapter in a day and try to solve the questions asked from those chapters from the book genetics made easy. So you read one chapter in a day and try to solve the questions from objective genetics book for those chapters only, for that chapter only. Moving to the important chapters in plant breeding for ICAR PG examination. For plant breeding, history part is very important, and you should compile the Kundan Singh book and BD Singh book for history purposes. And you should refer to the appendix part from the MCQ book of BD Singh BK Prasad in plant breeding. Then reproduction in plants and reproduction control. These two chapters are very important, and you should know and memorize the concepts from those chapters. This chapters is pretty much memory based, so you can revise it more and more to grip a control on those chapters. Moving to the qualitative and quantitative characters, as I earlier said, that this quantitative characters chapter is very much important in respect of genetics as well as plant breeding. So you should know the concepts, and you should understand the concepts and memorize the concepts as well from those chapters. Then biomedical techniques, you should only know about the history part from the biomedical techniques, and a little bit of the techniques or formulas which is given in any book, Kundan Singh or BD Singh. Okay. Then hybridization chapter. This chapter is well written in the BD Singh book. You should follow the whole chapter from there. Then selection in self and cross-pollinated crops. Selection in self-pollinated crops. This chapter is very much important. You should read it from the BD Singh book completely and understand and memorize the concepts from those books. Then for cross-pollinated crops, there are two chapters. One is genetic composition of cross-pollinated crops, which is very much important in respect of JRF, and other is selection in cross-pollinated crops. It is less important in respect of ICAR PG examination. Then conventional methods in breeding, like uh, mass selection, uh, or pure line selection, pedigree selection, bulk, backcross. These methods, you should know the processes of those methods, like the flow chart. given in the Bedesing book or Fundun Singh, uh, which you prefer most. You can read the step-by-step process, and questions are asked from the processes only, not the any other thing given in the chapter. Only the process, like which step comes after which step. You should know about them well. Then population improvement chapter, here comes the recurrent selection, progeny selection. You should know the history part and the concepts pretty well for ICR examination, and you should revise the chapters 3 times or 4 times, as many as you can. Then the heterosis inbreeding repression chapter. This chapter is very important, very important ICR PG examination. Then hybrids chapter, the history part of the hybrids chapter given in the Bedesing book, and the characteristics of hybrids and how to fix the hybrid by the techniques, how to prefix the hybrid. You should know them well. How to prepare one inbreed line, the breeding methods of preparing inbreed line. You should know about them as well, and how to improve the inbreeds, like progeny selection by progeny selection, or backcross, or other methods given in the Bedesing book or Fundan Singh book, uh, from them as well. Then clonal selection. This chapter is less important, but one part in the clonal selection from Bedesing book is very much important. That part is the mutation part, the sectoral mutations, or the uh, peripheral mutations. Those parts is very much important the in respect of ICRPG examination. Sectoral parts means the chimeras which formed after the mutation in the clonal plants. Then biotic and abiotic stress breeding. This part only you should follow the charts from the Bedesing book, and read the concepts from the Kundan Singh book. That all is pretty much sufficient for ICRPG examination. Special breeding techniques. In special breeding techniques, mutation comes, then polyploidy, distant hybridization, idiotype breeding. Under idiotype breeding, there are oil quality breeding, then protein quality breeding techniques. You should know only the main lines. You should remember only the main topics, main lines. Uh, Only. And in the mutation part, many questions asked in this year and previous years also. So you should know a deep knowledge in mutation chapter, mutation part, mutation breeding part, and polyploidy part. For idiotype, you should know the types of idiotype, different types of idiotypes, and the characteristics of idiotype. How we can say this is a idiotype, like the difference between idiotype and idiotype breeding and conventional breeding. Then biotechnology part, there are transgenics and vectors. You should know the methods of, you all know the better methods of tissue culture techniques. I don't put it in here because this is very much easy. You should know the transgenic and vector part very well, which is not precisely given in the plant breeding book by Bedesing, but the plant biotechnology book by Bedesing. You should refer that book for transgenics and vector part. There are different types of vector, mentioned different types of vectors and the techniques to create a transgenic plant. You should know the knowledge. You should gather the knowledge about that only. Then molecular markers and application part. Molecular markers, types of markers, characteristics of molecular marker, difference between molecular marker and the conventional and the morphological markers or protein markers. You should know all of this very well. And then variety release organizations and IPR organizations. For organizations like institutes, different types of institutes regarding the plant breeding, you can find a pretty much a huge writing on about them in the Bedesing book. And for variety release, you should refer the Fundan Singh book. And for IPR, you also refer the Fundan Singh book. It is pretty much well. And after that, you should read the Bedesing book after completing the Fundan Singh book for variety release, IPR. This those topics only. Then moving to the plant genetic resources, either you read first the BDC book chapters like domestication, germplasm, conservation, plant introduction, or for the Fundal Singh book, crop genetic resources, centers of diversity, and gene banks. As wish, as you first to read the BDC book, or say Fundal Singh book, or Fundal Singh book first, and then second BDC book. But remember to read the both books for those chapters, because some thing is not written in the BDC book, but that thing is written in the Kundan Singh book. Something is written not written in the Kundan Singh book. That thing is written in the Bedi Singh book. Then moving to the important books for plant breeding, I refer Plant Breeding Principles and Methods by Bedi Singh and Essentials of Plant Breeding. These two books is like a Bible for plant breeding, and you either complete first the Kundan Singh book. If you don't understand the BD Singh book, you read first, but you don't understand anything of it, then skip that book and first read the Essentials of Plant Breeding by Kundan Singh. Then after you read the Plant Breeding Principles and Methods book. But it is important for the current situation that Plant Breeding Principles and Methods by BD Singh is a important book. Seems like an important book for current situation. So you should read it once or twice and memorize the concept, understand the concepts very well. Then revise it from the Kundan Singh book, as because BD Singh book is very large. Then revise again and again from the Kundan Singh book, and revise the keynotes which you have highlighted from the BD Singh book or noted down in your notebook. Revise those lines only from the BD Singh book, not whole book. You need not to revise whole book at a time. So after that, for biotechnology part, none of these books is sufficient for biotechnology part. So I refer to the plant biotechnology by BD Singh. The transgenic portion and the vector portion and recombinant DNA technology portion, that three portions you should cover from the plant biotechnology book by BD Singh. After that, as I said in the genetics part, that you should read after completing all these books, you should read one chapter in a day and try to solve the MCQs from the objective plant breeding book for those or for that chapter only. Yeah, yeah. So for the economic botany part or the commercial plant breeding part, I refer to Engineering University notes and class notes for commercial plant breeding or economic botany. Then moving to the important chapters in plant pathology for ICAR PG examination. History part is very much important in plant pathology, as I said in the plant breeding. So for history part, you should not find a complete note about history part in any sources. So you should create a notebook about the history part and write it down. Write it down according to the years and discoveries by the scientist in that notebook only. And in plant pathology, the syllabus is huge because no one knows from where they asked any question, where they asked one question. So you should know very well the fungi, bacteria, viruses, the introduction and classification part of both the three uh, categories, and the morphology part for fungi life cycles is very important. Fungi life cycles and importance in the of fungi in our daily life. You should read it because maybe in future the importance part is becoming important for ICRPG examination purposes. For bacteria, the genetics part, reproduction part is very much important. And for viruses, also the genetics and reproduction part, then the morphology part, uh, those parts are pretty much important. The importance part is is also important. Then viroids, prions, you should know about them. Then identification techniques of pathogens, like how to identify this diseases created by bacteria or fungi or viruses. You should know that small details about them, and you can't find it in any book precisely. So you need to create a notebook for the identification purposes, like in future maybe some questions asked and in our time in this year also some one question is asked from the identification purpose, like how this disease is created by that type of pathogen, like that. Then Koch postulates is very much important. Every year one questions or two questions asked from this part only. Then plant diseases, in plant diseases, names and the disease name and the pathogen name and etiology of the pathogen, disease cycle, favorable temperature, humidity, special management techniques. Only special management techniques are sufficient enough. Don't need to memorize other things. And you can refer for plant diseases the in NG Ranga University notes for the plant diseases part only, field crops and horticulture crops both. Principles in plant pathology, this part is very much important, and in respect of ISRPG examination. But in this year, this part quite lost its weightage, because in last year we see that many questions asked in from the principles in plant pathology part, and you should first read this chapter from the Angarul second note, and after that I suggest some books which which I have told after completing this portion. Epidemiology and forecasting parts is very much important, and you should read it well, and you should refer your class notes or UG notes for this purpose only. Then coming to the important books for plant pathology, fungi, bacteria, viruses by HC Dubey is very much important. You should read it first. Then after completing it, you should move on to the plant pathology and overview book. Then After that, I said the principal part is very much important. Principles in plant pathology. You should read it either RS Singh first. RS Singh, in RS Singh there are lots of things, and it is time consuming. It kills your times, and you you should refer your seniors for the important lines from RS Singh book they told you, and you only read those important lines for principles part. And you should after that you should read the modern plant pathology for the principal part, and for as well as the fungi, bacteria, viruses, viroid. In modern plant pathology, some new concepts are written by the H.C. Dubey, so you should know about the new concepts. And one thing is important that in case of fungi, the textbook of fungi, bacteria, viruses by H.C. Dubey, it is an old book, so the classification in this book is not uh, updated. So you need to purchase the new generation book, or you should know the latest generation by Crick et al. For the fungi classification. You get it from the plant pathology and overview part also. In this book, you can find the Crick et al. Classification of fungi. After that, you should solve MCQ book. One of MCQ book, I solved both of them, the plant pathology at a glance by Ika Bhattacharya and the objective plant pathology by Sushant Banik and Ashit Kumar Mandal. So you can solve any one of these. Then for principles part and host plant resistance part, you should follow the chapters 4, 5, 6 from plant pathology by GN Agrios. It widens your knowledge and concepts. And after that, already said that Engineering PDF books for plant diseases is very much important. Then class notes, your class notes, and then virology handbook is also important for plant pathology. Then moving to the important chapters in seed technology for ICAR examination. History part is also always important in seed technology. The years in which one institute is established, or the years in which one law is published or enacted. This information you should know pretty well. Then seed biology. Seed biology part is less important, but in this year one question is asked from seed biology. Then seed production part, seed processing, packaging, the technologies, the machineries used for seed processing and also packaging, the types of packages, like packaging material types. You should know about it well. Seed protection and storage. Seed protection, like the chemicals used to protect the seed. Legislation, seed certification standards are very much important. This chapter is very much important. Seed certification and certification standards. Seed testing, variety release and protection, and institutes and organizations. That's all for the seed technology. Then moving to the important books for seed technology. The Principles of Seed Technology by P.K. Agarwal is very much important book, and after completing that book, you should refer the competitive book of seed technology and seed science and technology by Gayatri Kumawat and Mukesh Kumar Bhutna. This book is very well, and you should memorize all the concepts from this book. And after that, you should solve the objective seed science by uh, objective seed science book. Both of these books by Kalyani Prakashani or scientific publishers. That two books are very well, and it complete all the seed technology part in precisely. And I suggest that for C technology, the subject is memory based, and you should memorize all the concepts. So practicing more MCQs should solve your memory problem. Like someone should not capable to memorize by read one concept. So by read one line. So you should solve MCQ about that chapter or that line. By this way, you can memorize for that concept for a little longer time. Then you should refer UG class notes and TNU notes for C technology. And I must say that live classes, I purchased the live classes from AgriAddict, and live classes and study material provided by Hariprasad sir is very much sufficient. And like that, after attending his class, it feels like you know the boundary around which you should revolve or revise the whole C technology part. As because C technology is a wide subject, and you should prefer some study notes which he provided well before the examinations. So it definitely helped me in my preparation. And you should refer ICR website for say technology as well. Then moving to the microbiology, I prefer the Toro Kapoor book for microbiology, and you should read other the engineering note, microbiology note, and UG class notes other than this book. The first five chapters of this book and the last five chapters, it's pretty much important for JRF purposes. Then biochemistry. Uh, this in this segment, you should know about the water, carbohydrate, protein, lipids, and enzymes. And the 12 based knowledge is sufficient for ICAR JRF also, and you need not to purchase any book or anything for that purpose only. You just read your UG class notes or 12th standard book or any NEET preparation book. I prefer the ELIN module for biochemistry. Then plant physiology, here's quite a lot of chapters, but in ICRPG, 3 to 4 or 5 questions may be asked from this segment only. So you need not to worry about it very deeply. So the important chapters from plant physiology, I write it down the all chapters which you need for JRF preparation. But the important chapters are mineral nutrition, uh, then nitrogen assimilation, which you also read from the microbiology book, microbiology book named the nitrogen fixation chapter. Then photosynthesis and respiration. These two chapters are very much important, and then growth hormone. These 5 or 4 chapters are very much important for plant physiology respective, and I prefer Alin notes besides covering the VK Jain fundamentals of plant physiology note. I prefer Alin notes, UG notes, and online lectures for plant physiology purposes. And after that, I only solve the photosynthesis and respiration part for MCQ from the book of objective plant physiology. Only those two chapters I solved. And in the book of VK Jain, you also find some MCQs behind the chapters. You should solve them, and you also find MCQs from in the Alin notes behind the chapters. You should follow them as well. Then coming to the general agriculture part, I follow the Nimraj Sunda book and the 2 volumes of Arun Kattan book. This is pretty much sufficient for ICR JRF purposes. And for current affairs, I follow the agriculture current affair book 2022 and 2023. It is old version. You should purchase the newer version every year for current affairs. And you also can join any Telegram group or any WhatsApp group for the current affair purposes, as because current affairs are pretty much important, and uh, day by day questions are asked from the current affairs. 2 or 3 questions have asked from the current affairs in this year also, so you need to pretty good grip in the current affairs segment. Moving to the other important books, after moving to the other important books after read all of the materials, I should prefer you to summarize all of them from the Instant Plant Pathology book by Santosh Kumar, or the Plant Science at a Glance book by Ajit Kumar Singh. And I also read and solve the numerical problems from the genetics numerical problems book by Khanna. And and the video lectures, free video YouTube video lectures of Hari Prasad sir also helped me a lot for knowing the types of numerical problems asked in the ICR JRF examination. So you should purchase his master course, which is live now, or any other course from AgriAddict platform. It will help you and benefit you pretty well. Then after that, I read the keynotes on genetics and plant breeding book. But I suggest that you should first read all. You should first complete those books which I have referred earlier, and after that you go read the keynotes on genetics and plant breeding book. So it will help and summarize. It will can help you to summarize your concepts precisely and in a ordered fashion. So that much all about my preparation strategy and important books which I have followed through my ICR JRF preparation program. You should follow accordingly, according to my plan, or you should follow your own plan, but follow one path and don't mess up with many paths. Like someone said, you should read that book, you should read those books, but you read that book which you prefer, your heart prefer, your mind prefer to read. And if you are willing to join any online coaching for ICR JRF preparation, you should contact to AgriAddict platform, or you should download the AgriAddict app. They have a pretty much well organized study plan for ICR aspirants. So happy learning, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you very much.